Hey, what's up, everybody? It's your man Simeon with the Simeon Henderson Show, and I am live today in Inglewood. I have been waiting for this moment for so long. We went into production last year, and we got everything shot by this past October, and Malcom bugged the hell out of me to bug the hell out of Mark on when it was going to be coming out. But we are here in Inglewood, out on location. Look, out in Inglewood, outside, to talk about Black and Privilege, which is number 7 on Netflix, number 7 in the nation on the number one digital streaming channel and platform in the world. Yeah. So it's one of those things where it's a great experience, it's a humbling experience, and it's one of those things that we've been waiting so long for. And this show today is all about what's going on with Black and Privilege, how we did it, the ups and downs, the way you people have been supporting it, and it's just been an awesome ride, and we're looking forward to bring you so much more. And we're always here to give a voice to the people. So if you have something to say about the show, let us know, good or bad, indifferent or whatever have you. We want to know your opinions and your thoughts about Black and Privilege. Let me give a big shout out to my executive producer in Miami, Florida, Jamani Anamdi, my producer right here, Jose Perez, and everybody that's been so good and diligent in supporting the Simeon Henderson Show. So we're out in the elements. We're outside today. The wind is blowing. It's a little hot. We have our nice little red cup drinks because we're going to stay cool as we give you what you need to know about Black and Privilege.
Jesus juice.
So I'm going to get right into it, okay? I'm going to get right into it. I'm going to start. I have Mark Harris to my right, your left. He's behind me. He is the brains of Black and Privilege. He put it together. It's his brainchild. And Mark, what I want the people to know is, what were the thoughts going through your mind when you wrote this project?
The thoughts were like,
you don't do drugs, do you?
So it was the first episode, or the first chapter, what we want to do is show a community, that sort of like where we at now. People come together, putting their resources together, and doing something for themselves. So that's the objective of the whole concept. But at the same time, not only doing something for themselves, but they would do anything and everything to protect their community.
Okay. So let me ask this question before we go any further. How did you come up with the name Black and Privilege? I know, because I know I discussed it with you a few times, but what made you come to Black and Privilege?
Well, the two words, like most of us hear the term Black and Privilege. Not most, I should say most of us. A lot of us, we like even Black people get offended by it because many of us don't think that we are privileged, but being a Black is.
Yes.
From the melanin alone, So to me, it's just much more than just having access to or having wealth or having certain privileges in America. It's how we were created as human beings. It's like of course we don't have Black race. People, Black is really not a color. It's the essence of which all colors come from. So that alone makes us a privileged human being or a person.
Okay. So I'm going to come back. I have a good question about that. Let me come over here. Malcom, you hold on. Let me come over here. Everybody, to my left, your right, we have Latoya Hunter, who is a producer on Black and Privilege. I remember, and I have to say this, I remember when Toya was a PA. I remember when she first started. The reason I'm saying this, you guys know I'm big on working hard and staying consistent and committed to get to the next level and evolve. So now she's a producer on one of the top shows, Black and Privilege.
Black and Privilege.
Okay, so
number 7 on Netflix.
is that? See, she's from the suburb, but that's the Inglewood. So Toya, what was this experience like for you, and what made you take on this project?
Great question. So one, thank you for having me, Simeon. I greatly appreciate it. I'll start flip the question, because I would definitely say what had me take on this project was the man of the hour to my right, Mr. Mark Harris, or as I like to say, the Mark Harris. Brilliant mind, always appreciated his work. You know, when I read the script, I learned a lot just from reading the script alone, and so why not be a part of something amazing? So that was a no-brainer. And certainly what I would say is, you know, what I really enjoyed about Black and Privilege was, first and foremost, the cast and crew were phenomenal. You know, some of the hardest working folks. We had early mornings, we had late nights. We had, you know, craziness with locations, but the team came and made it happen. And so that alone for me as a producer is a great part, because when you have a team that is passionate about a project, that believes in the project, you know, everything else just falls into place. And so I think I shared this earlier, but I don't think any of us knew what Black and Privilege would do on Netflix.
Yes.
But just the love and passion that we poured into it, we knew that it was going to be a great project no matter what. And so to see the fruits of our labor really paying off is a humbling experience, because we really are just scratching the surface of what Black and Privilege can really do.
Okay, so let me say this. Thank you so much, Toya. Let me say this. I have to say welcome and thank you to everybody that's tuning in. I am going to be interactive with you guys. So if you have questions, let me know and we will answer the questions. I got to say big up to Joel. He's out in St. Martin's. We got people internationally watching right now. Big shout out to Sarah, one of the actors. And we have a question, Mark. There's a question. And the question is by Rashad Smith. Rashad wants to know, what was the budget for Black and Privilege? If you don't mind sharing. I just have to ask the question. Rashad, he's looking at me crazy. I just have to answer the question.
That and just simply say it was enough to feed the crew, keep the actors happy, and allow us to pay for equipment.
Okay.
And shoot a hell of a project.
So the budget was this. Now you all heard of the shoestring budget, right? So it literally was the cost of your shoe shop. Without the shoe.
Right.
It was a shoestring budget.
I would agree with that.
So let me say this. That's a question.
Shoestring is however your shoestring goes out, but
You hear that, Rashad? People always ask that question, and let me educate you guys watching the show. No director, producer ever wants to discuss the budget. They never want to. Independently. Now, if it was a $10 million budget, $5 million budget, we would have said that so fast, your head would have spin.
no. And here's the reason why. The reason why is because when you're doing an independent film, you always want to increase the budget, because you'll get more when you're dealing with distribution. So if I get on here and say, okay, the budget was $5,000 in distribution, I'm not saying the budget was. Just
Right.
give you an example. And a distribution company, because they do their research, and they say,
Right.
oh, the budget's only $5,000, and they were going to offer us $75,000, whereas
Right.
at one point they were going to offer us between $60,000, $70,000, $80,000, or $100,000.
Right,
So,
exactly.
so you never want to give up your budget.
Big shout out to Christopher Nolan, who also has a project out on Netflix. It's called Pierre Jackson. And big shout out to Brandon Ellis and Brian Stanley. He says, I'm watching the film right now. So how are you watching this show? So that's just a question. Guys, everybody watching, I'm glad we made this decision to do the show out here, because I'm looking at the picture. It looks dope. It looks like something out of like Do the Right Thing.
It almost looked like Black and Privilege.
It looks like Black and Privilege. It looks dope. I'm glad we made this decision. To big shout out to my producer Jose Perez, and it looks so great. So here we go. Let's keep moving. I have Malcolm Banks to my left. I caught him right before he took a sip of his Jesus juice.
Looking like Jesus.
Looking like Jesus.
Amen.
Without the sandals. The original Jesus.
Don't get my side.
With the hair of wool and bronze skin.
Yes.
So, Malcolm, I remember when you got the role. See, people don't know how far we go back. I remember when you got the role, how happy you were.
Yeah, man.
But from the point of getting the role to where we're at now, did you foresee any of this happening?
Nah, nope, not at all. What I knew Mark was a man about, making sure that his products get out there. I knew it was gonna get somewhere. I didn't know where it was gonna get to. So I knew that whatever I did on this project had to be the best I could do. So I just didn't want to let him down.
How did you feel when you got that little buzz in your ear that it might be on Netflix, the #1 streaming platform in the world?
I mean, that's when I was calling you every day.
Literally. hey, Mark, I gotta tell you, it was hilarious. Every day, you talk to Mark yet? You talk to Mark? I'm like, no, Malcolm, I haven't talked to him.
But seeing out for a moment, I felt special because he was doing the same thing.
I was calling everybody. Or anybody I could. I was like, just to, because, you know, we've been in this business. I've been in the game for 12 years. I mean,
I remember when you started.
Everybody, you know what I'm saying? Simeon, I was there when I first did my little first music video, when I was video vix back in the day. We did a music video, like a Malcom X video, and I was in that, and it was him, it was Harold Dennis in it. What you call it was in it? I can't remember that. Marissa was in that, yes. And we were all in that, and that was the first little joint. But you know, so coming and getting an opportunity, you know, for a platform like Netflix, that was huge. I mean, it's huge. You know, it still hasn't like hit me 100%. Like it's hit me about I'm in the 60s right now, 65%. Just the shock of it, and then also with the you know, with the views from Twitter, from seeing it up like 1.6 now.
1.6 million.
6 million
views
from a
on
clip.
one scene, on one clip.
You know, it's going viral with clips now, so it's crazy.
Yeah.
But that's only one clip.
That's one clip.
We don't
That's
know the
one
numbers
clip.
with Netflix.
Exactly.
We don't know Netflix
We don't know
numbers.
the Netflix numbers
That's
yet.
Twitter with a clip.
Right.
It's just crazy.
So yeah, and you know we in Inglewood, so we got to look out for them clips numbers. I joke because Mark is from Inglewood, everybody. And so let me go. I gotta say, Akiba, hello Akiba, DL Banks, what's going on?
What's up, Banks?
Mark Christopher Nolan said, dope answer regarding the budget. Mark Harris, because people, they ask that all the time. So that's it. DL Banks said he wish he was hanging out on the porch. Sorry, brother, we couldn't let you hang out on the porch. Ain't enough room for you with your little chubby self. I'm just playing DL. That's what you. And so let's keep going. Mark, coming back to you. So Mark, when you sit down to write a project, what is your thought process? Like, what are you thinking? Because in my mind, to be a writer, you have to think outside the box. So, what is your thoughts?
Well, I don't know if you have to think outside the box.
Yeah, you do.
You know, because most writers don't think outside the box.
They don't?
No.
Okay. I guess I'm just inside the box all the
No,
time.
because the reality is, I mean, you know, I don't know in terms of when you say think outside the box.
I mean, I'm sorry. You have to be creative.
Yeah.
You have to be creative.
Right, yeah.
And sometimes, so what is it like for you when you have to be creative, and because you have to write something that's going to intrigue people, that's going to pull them in, that's going to make them think, going to make them laugh, that's going to make them cry, that's going to entertain. What are your thoughts when it comes to that?
Well, first, you know, as a writer, right? And first, I have to make sure that when I'm writing, I have to write from the position of, you know, of love.
Okay.
And I know this probably sounds pointy to a lot of people, but you have to make sure that you're not, and it's not that you're purposely not trying to offend anyone. It's just the fact that you want to make sure that, you know, as a writer, you know, you just write from a place where you just, something that you just love doing.
Okay.
You know, just love doing. And so when you say outside the box, in terms of
As far as the creativity, yeah.
right, which is outside the box, because it's dealing with an issue that many of us are, you know. So here's the thing. The thing is, I've seen a lot of people don't talk about it, and I don't think a lot of people realize is the fact that when you were walking and you saw the family on the porch, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you didn't we heard the word nigga.
Yeah.
Right? But that's not, we did it as a voice because, and I think that's coming from our thoughts.
Right.
Because you know, many times when we see black people do things like this,
Yeah.
so that's where that came from. So, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, you have to, so in that situation, yeah, it's that's outside the box because we deal with a situation where, you know, that we are, like as black people, we don't want to share.
Okay, I got you. So, Toya, let me come back to you. You're sitting back there looking pretty.
I tried.
I have a question to you. I know you've gotten a lot of feedback about the movie from your friends and people you don't even know, right?
Right.
What are let's start, I like constructive criticism, right?
Yes.
So, what are some of the good things that you've heard about Black and Privilege?
That's not
No.
I will start with
Constructive criticism is you give a positive first, then you give the negative. So I said first, what are some of the positive things you heard, then we're going to go to the negative.
Okay. think the positive is for those who have viewed Black and privilege from an open mind has really been. I appreciate y'all having an honest conversation about what Black people talk about behind closed doors.
Okay.
I think that's probably been the consistent thing of Black and privilege addressing issues that usually are not addressed in film. Usually are conversations that are had in personal settings with your family, your friends. We real live, they live over there.
Yeah.
But ultimately, you know, people appreciate the education piece, learning about blockbusting, learning about redlining,
Yeah.
you know, learning about the statistics around. See, I'm doing your character.
Statistics? I can really say it.
You know, just ultimately around just the fact of, you know, the civil war that's going on in the Black community as it relates to Black men killing others, or you know, so forth. So it's just really that element of, you know, if we can have a transparent and honest conversation with amongst us, then really that's what's going to allow us to be thoughtful in taking action on creating change and positive change. Okay. And so if you're willing to at least be open-minded to that aspect, then I really think that you're open to what the film is really trying to say, is that can't nobody save us.
Okay.
Only we can save ourselves.
There it is. Okay, so we got the fluff out the way.
I want to talk about the constructive. Let's
okay.
get to the good stuff.
Okay, here we go. No, let's get the fluff out the way. Let's talk for real. Let's have real conversation. And the real conversation I want to have with you guys and with my co-workers is this. I don't know what's going on. I don't know why it is, but in my eyes, there seems to be so much more feedback from the white and Latino, and I have Indian, different cultures, more so than the Black culture.
When you say feedback, you mean like
feedback about talking about the movie and what they're learning from it.
exactly.
What they're learning from the movie. I think the thing we have to understand, because some people get upset saying, well, it's Black people killing Black people again. No, it's not just about Black people killing Black people. We are fighting for our families, for our communities, for what we believe in. So it doesn't matter if they were Black, white, or indifferent. If you come across that line, you're getting dealt with.
You know, that's if people were to think about Dubai, let's think about Dubai for a second. Now, Dubai is majority of the wealthiest in that portion of the country.
Okay.
And they're all of the same descent, right? There's around Dubai is the poorest of the poorest ghettos of the same people of the same descent.
Okay.
They did what they did. The way they did it was in a negative way. They have basically slavery around that time. What Black and Privilege is promoting is just trying to teach each other and show. Like, it wasn't all off top, they were going to kill everybody who was coming into the neighborhood trying to assimilate. No, they were attempting to teach, and they did, and that's what they were doing. That's what the cycle of it is showing. The cycle is showing this is how we live it, showing and teaching. That's the show.
Kudos.
Showing and teaching.
And piggybacking off that, kudos to the writer. There was a scene with Eldon and Samad where they talked about we need to help them go back to school if they wanted to go to school, which means they were going to pay for it. Help them start their own business, which means they were going to help pay for it. So now they're talking about building them up if that's what they wanted. Right? So now let me ask you this. In your eyes, what do you think we have to do to get people to be more conscious about wanting more?
I think we all naturally want more, but it's how what we do to get it. You know what I'm saying? Some of us think that getting more means, you know, don't take this the wrong way, but a lot of us think that getting more means integration.
Yeah.
So it's easier to like point the finger, like,
Which is crazy.
right, yeah.
I mean,
Well, can I say
integration.
something? Because what's
Speak
interesting
loud
is
so
that
they can hear you.
because what's interesting is that I agree that we all want more. But I really think from the perspective of the 80-20 rule is that we all want more, but it's really only 20% of us who are willing to do the work that it takes to get more.
Okay.
And so you have a majority who will either fall into being spectators and haters, against those who are trying to help and move the black race forward. Or you're gonna have the 20% who really is going to try to put a whole group of people on their back to do something that we still have yet to be seen, which is we are all in alignment with what is best for the black community. And, you know, kind of talking about removing the fluff, I will say what has been most enlightening to me is the challenge that people who look like me have in seeing the word black and privilege combined. I think I saw on Twitter somebody called it an oxymoron. And it's like we can accept many terms that are bestowed upon black people, but the idea of black and privilege together is a concept that people just can't even mentally digest.
Which is it's a good stigma. It's a good thing to have.
Absolutely.
Saying that you're black and privilege means that you are privy to good things and you can do good things, you can fare well, right? So why would that be insulting? Why would that be something that you go against? Why would that be something that you say is negative when we're talking about being privileged? What's wrong with us? You're supposed to think highly of yourself. So when you're thinking highly of yourself, you say, yes, I'm black and privileged. That doesn't mean you're a butthole, you don't like people. I'm glad to be in the 20%.
Well, it's not the message. You know, the thing is, it's not what's going on.
Yeah,
A lot of our celebrities,
Yes.
a lot of our politicians,
Yeah.
and those who black people have platforms, they push certain ideas on black people.
Yes.
Like this whole term, white privilege,
Mhm.
which white people absolutely have white privilege, right? But they make it seem like I'm not trying to take away white people's privilege
Right.
at all.
Exactly.
As long as their privilege doesn't lead into what we're trying to do as a people.
Exactly.
If they have their white privilege, then we will have ours as well.
Exactly.
And equal does not mean the same.
Yes.
You know, if you take China for example, right? China's a superpower. America's a superpower. Different languages, different culture, different religion, totally different. You know, so they're equal, but they're not the same. So we can have our own community, right? Like we did before the civil rights movement, where we know you go into a black store, you know, owned by us. We have our own black politicians. After slavery, right, we had more black politicians in the different houses in the Senate than we do now, because they focus and they focus and we put them in.
Yeah.
So sorry.
No, go finish. No,
Yeah,
finish your part.
so the thing is that this whole thing with we should see ourselves. You know
Yes.
what I'm saying?
Yes.
Everyone should see themselves.
Yes.
But black people feed into it because of the people who get on these platforms and feed us this idea and create these boogeymen. Right?
Yeah.
You know,
Like that word is law.